amount of plastic waste has increased compared to the last few years, and the problem is that most of the debris is being disposed of in a violent way, which leads to the severe ocean pollution and soil pollution. You might have seen this kind of environment either in a direct way or via picture, but this is what's happening in our society today. Moreover, not only at the beach, nowadays we unfortunately get to see more of the waste even at our school playground. Despite the presence of several campaigns, a tremendous amount of plastic waste are still being exposed to our surrounding environment. And the question is that do we really have the authority to harm the health of the earth which provides habitat to us? In the end, all those impurities that we do to the earth would be returned to our life and would make drastic changes. Our lifestyle is changing in a way of increasing the overall entropy of the world, which proposes the reason for continuously modifying the prevention method of waste. Therefore, we have to look for another solution for plastic waste in order to prepare a better environment by protecting our surroundings. Then, what could be the solution? Various methods could be brought up, but let me suggest some of the solutions that I consider to be the most significant. First, change all the customer systems in a visiting purchase way in order to prevent the production of the plastics in advance. In other words, customers are no longer buying the product that is contained in the plastic bottle, but they get to bring their own bottles and take a certain amount of the product into their bottle. This would lead to a decrease in money investment for producing the plastic bottles, which would be able to benefit the company in an economical way. Moreover, if the company directly contributes in the process of reducing plastic waste, this would bolster their appearance in society, which would also be able to economically benefit the company. And if the government support is invested in the process, it would be a good catalyst for encouraging the other companies as well. This method has one drastic drawback, which is that replacing plastic bottles into the other bottle to reduce the plastic waste would lead to the problem of employment. Since there would be no need to produce a tremendous amount of the plastic, there would be no need for employing many of the people, which means that numerous people could lose their job. However, to make our environment the top priority, reducing employment is just a subtle problem that should be sacrificed. Second, recycling is what makes plastic waste a severe problem. This isn't just happening in South Korea, where nearly all over the world is suffering due to this recycling problem. However, don't get bogged down because this also means that we could still solve this plastic waste problem if we were to recycle plastics properly. And to make people recycle more enthusiastically, we have to consider recycling as interesting stuff, not boring stuff. But how are we going to make people feel happy when they are recycling? We could use a reward system. To be specific, we get to offer points as an incentive for those of the people who are doing excellent and consistent recycling. Then what does this point mean? Well, we have a lot of options. We could regard this point as money, where people could save this and buy stuff in the future. Or we could regard this point as a point for food waste, where people could earn a point for a food waste card if they just do proper recycling. The point here is that we have to make recycling as a fun stuff, not a time-consuming thing. Last but not least, the government could jump into the problem. And one of the possible investments they could make is that the government could launch a recycling shop project. This is just a shop that sells handmade recycling products where all those shops are directly owned and managed by the government. Why does it have to be the government? Well, if the government is managing the whole business, it would be much easier to grab the citizens' interest. However, despite all those possible solutions, still people's constant interest is the most significant thing. We have to continuously spread the idea of possible problems that could arise due to the plastic waste to increase the over caution from the public. People, including us, favor the usage of plastic because plastic is extremely convenient. Nonetheless, it should be noticed that this is no more than a short happiness. This might sound cliche, but it will become much easier to eventually perform if we keep reminding ourselves. Thus, a periodic advertisement at public transportation and public locations should be established. Or we can also do some social media challenge via TikTok or Instagram to spread the idea of properly discarding the plastic waste. Our interests can change a lot of things. And since Earth is our lifelong habitat, we have to be self-aware that we have the responsibility for preserving the environment of the Earth. Although the effort of today might not be able to immediately change tomorrow, a better future could be realized if these small endeavors are combined together.